Hello and welcome to our single subject information session for the Watson College of Education here at Cal State San Bernardino. The information session today will cover your program track options. You'll get a better sense of what to expect in the program, and we'll also go into detail about the admission requirements. So if you're considering becoming a middle school or high school teacher, this is the right session for you. Now, why choose CSUSB? We are state accredited by the Commission on Teacher Credentialing. We make sure that we meet all the state standards. And one important thing to note is the credential itself will be issued to you by CTC. So it's important that we meet all the requirements set by the state. We also serve the Riverside and the San Bernardino County areas. So you are able to pick any of the school districts within any of the two counties that we have contracts with. We also have the English learner authorization embedded in the program. So you're not expected to take any additional tests or courses after completing your credential. You'll automatically have the EL authorization. We have state-of-the-art building and facilities on both campuses in the San Bernardino main campus, as well as our Palm Desert, affordable tuition, and we train highly qualified teachers. At the end of every year, of course, about March or April, our private, public, and charter school representatives come out to meet our students. So when that time comes around, we encourage you to attend those events. The single subject credential program, or the credential itself, is designed to allow you to teach middle school or high school. This is a secondary level credential. Here at Cal State San Bernardino, we have art, English, foundational mathematics, foundational science, mathematics, music, physical education, biology, chemistry, geoscience, physics, social science, theater, world languages is French and Spanish. To note, the foundational level math and science credentials allow you to teach about middle school level math or science. So if you're interested only in those lower levels of math and science, this is definitely an option for you. Now, as a single subject credential holder, you are allowed to teach the same subject to a number or different groups of students. As you finish the credential program, you're going to be issued what we call a preliminary credential. And so you're given 5 years to clear that credential. And that's usually a process done through the school district. So again, this is not a generalist credential. That's typically your multiple subject credential to teach elementary. This is the secondary level credentials. Now, here at Cal State San Bernardino, with the College of Education, we offer a hybrid program. So our program combines both in-person and online. Again, offered on our San Bernardino campus as well as our Palm Desert campus. If you live out in the low desert area, we offer full-time and part-time options, student teaching versus internship. In the next slide, we'll talk about the difference between student teaching versus internship. The student teaching option allows you to gain clinical practice hours under the guidance of an assigned mentor teacher in your last semester of the credential program. Now, during this time, you're also being supervised by a university supervisor that is assigned to work with you throughout that semester. Now, you're not getting paid while you're student teaching, and you cannot hold a daytime job. So it's important to apply for financial aid, see what you might be eligible for. So financial resources are available to credential students. So you really want to make sure you tap into those resources. The neat thing about student teaching that allows you the opportunity to become acquainted with administrators and teachers. Our hope is, of course, that as soon as you finish the credential, you can secure that contract. And so this is key and this is really important. And so student teaching really allows you that opportunity to connect before you actually finish the program. On the other hand, you have the internship option. Now, as an intern, this means that you become the teacher of record. You're getting paid, you're receiving benefits, and it is counting towards retirement. but it's up to you to secure that contract with the school. And so you do have to apply just like any other teacher would, and the district would need to be willing to offer an intern credential. You have a university supervisor that is assigned to work with you. And the huge difference between student teaching and internship is also that you have to add an additional semester of an internship. So it does take you a little longer to complete the program as an intern. Now, since you're receiving a salary, which is great, but you could also look into the types of financial resources available to you as well. So those are another plus with this. Now, we don't have too many students in the internship option. I would say most of our students do complete the program as student teaching, but just know that the internship is an option for you. But one important thing to note is an intern must take steps to become an intern. And there are steps that must be done within the first semester of the credential program. So everyone comes in as a student teacher first, and it's not until you've taken a few steps to become intern eligible where you can officially become an intern. So we're going to cover that in the next slide. So how do you become intern eligible? Number one, you have to show proof or provide proof of the U.S. Constitution. Now, U.S. Constitution is met by all CSU grads. So no matter what CSU campus that you graduated from, you have met the U.S. Constitution. If you have not, let's say you've come from a UC or from a private school, you could have your transcripts evaluated to determine whether you've met the U.S. Constitution course. And if so, great. And if not, then we will have you either take a course or you could just simply take an exam through our College of Extended Learning. We also have 3 pre-service courses that must be completed within the first semester of the credential to ensure that you are eligible for an intern credential. Along with these courses, you're also completing 120 hours of early field work. So as soon as you completed these steps, you receive this letter. If you secure a contract, then we would switch you from a student teaching path to an internship path. Our program track options. So let's talk a little bit about what options the single subject program offers. So our course sequence track A is a 2-semester plan. So this is our fast track. This is 30 semester units long. You're completing 15 units in the first semester and 15 units in the second semester. You can start in the fall or you can start in the spring. We don't offer classes in the summer or in the winter intersession. Classes are offered in the evening, typically after 4 p.m., and they each meet once a week. You'll note that there are a few classes that are for our bilingual candidates. So once you've been admitted, if you're considering the bilingual authorization, know that that is definitely an option for you. Highlighted in yellow, you'll see this is your student teaching in the second semester, along with your teacher performance assessment. There's a seminar designed to help you through that process. So you have faculty advisors who will support you through that time. Here is track B. Same number of units, but now we're slowing things down a little bit. We're adding an additional semester. So you have a little more time throughout the whole year and a half or so of courses if you are working at the same time. The only thing to note is you cannot hold that daytime job while you're student teaching. But always consult with your faculty advisor if there's any questions regarding the course sequence or if you need any accommodations. There are master's degree programs. We offer a variety of different master's degrees, but the MA in Education is the one program that will transfer 18 units from your credential into the MA, leaving you with 12 units to complete the master's. The MA in Education will take 12 units of your credential, leaving you with 18 units to complete the MA in STEM education. Both of these options means that you would only have to complete 2 more semesters of MA courses to then hold a master's degree. The program is hybrid. Classes are offered in the evening, similar to the credential on both campuses, and they offer flexibility with their schedules. So why pursue a master's degree? There's many reasons, and many students will consider a master's. First of all, teachers do get a higher salary. You also get the expert faculty to work with. You have that flexibility, affordable tuition, especially just knowing that you only need a few additional units to earn the master's. You have a supportive community to work with. You also have just practical experience that you will gain to further your career. For more information on all of our master's programs, just scan the QR code and you'll see all the options listed there. Now, if you're bilingual and biliterate in Spanish, we strongly encourage you to consider the bilingual added authorization. There's the XML grant that's available to these students. You could potentially receive a full tuition paid off by this grant. And so we encourage you to consider. You can reach out to the coordinator, Dr. Jordi Solsona Puig. And really, when we're looking at the bilingual authorization, it allows you another opportunity. So you can teach dual language immersion programs and in alternative bilingual classroom settings. During the credential program, you may or may not need to take an additional courses. It really will depend on an assessment done by our College of Education where they test your language competency in Spanish and Latino culture. If you're interested, please scan the QR code and it'll direct you to their interest form and they'll reach out to you for more information. Cal State Apply. So this is a system used by all of the 23 Cal States. So it's important to identify San Bernardino as a campus of interest. The QR code will take you to that application. So we're going to go through what are the admission requirements for the single subject credential program. So everything is done completely online. As you create your account, you're going to have the extended profile. Here is where you just answer a few questions, and depending on how you answer these questions, it'll generate a list of programs that are available to you. So you have your degree goal should be second bachelor's degree and beyond, which includes a teaching credential. This third box here is a teaching and service credential only. As you see, the single subject is listed there. So if these questions are answered correctly, you should see single subject and single subject with the bilingual authorization. So you can choose either one. Now, for the master's degree, you don't apply for the MA program just yet. You only apply for the credential. And as soon as you're ready to start taking MA courses, that would have to be after the first semester. Then you can submit a separate application for the master's program. Now, if you don't see the single subject program listed, then go to your name on the upper right-hand corner and then just click on the extended profile. It'll take you back to this profile so you can go back and correct it. There are 4 quadrants on Cal State Applied that must be completed before you can submit. So we're going to go through each of these quadrants. So personal information is just that. So make sure you answer the questions as honestly, of course, as possible. Make sure that they're accurate. Again, a lot of this is just general information that the CSU is just gathering from our prospective students. Academic history, here you're asked to list all the colleges that you attended after high school. It also asks about standardized tests. There are no tests unless you completed your degree outside of the country, then the TOEFL exam may be required. When it comes to the question on the GPA, I would say and encourage you to consider saying, I don't have a GPA to add. Click on the I don't have a GPA to add, and then you kind of skip through this process. The GPA will be calculated referring to your official transcripts anyways. Now, under supporting information, here you can add experience if you would like. And if not, you also have the option to click, I am not adding any experiences. Now, for this 4th quadrant, the program materials quadrant, here is where it's very specific to the single subject credential program. You will be provided with an admissions checklist to kind of guide you and remind you of what's needed to complete this application. So it is important to provide all the documents needed at the time that you submit this application. So what are the program admission requirements? We're going to go through each of them individually, and if there's any questions on that, please make sure to call the College of Education, meet with an advisor to go into details or to clarify any information. So number one, you need the approval form if and only if you're considering the bilingual added authorization. Again, meeting with the coordinator as soon as possible, getting tested is going to be key. The sooner, the better. He will provide you with an approval form that you will then provide and upload to your Cal State application. You also need to provide a copy of unofficial transcripts to Cal State Apply. So upload those unofficial transcripts and then provide official to the grad admissions office. Now, it's important to know if you're a CSU graduate, and I should say CSUSB graduate or soon to graduate from CSUSB, you do not have to provide official transcripts again. You should have already provided those when you either transferred or if you just came here, then everything is here. So not to worry about that. Now, if you graduated from another school, so for example, if you went to RCC and UCR, then you should provide official transcripts from RCC and UCR. Now, official, I would say the fastest way to provide those are to do this electronically. Unless you prefer to mail them, then you can definitely do that, but it's important to follow up to make sure that we received it. And if you're going to hand carry them in, that's definitely an option as well. Just make sure that they're sealed. Two recommendation forms are also required. Now, these forms should come from professors, employers, or supervisors, and the system allows you to submit these recommendation forms. So here's the recommendation form tab that you can click on Cal State Apply. So you're not physically giving them a form. They're not writing letters. They're simply filling out a form on your behalf. So here is where you have the recommender's information. You'll enter that information. As soon as you save that information, the recommender will then receive the request. Make sure you give them a heads up. It could go into their spam or junk mail folder, so make sure that they're aware that it's coming through. You only need two recommenders, and these recommenders should know you well enough to answer these questions. There's about 16 questions on the recommendation. They should know you academically and or professionally. A valid certificate of clearance is also required. Unless you already have a permit that authorizes you to teach or to be in a classroom in a public school in the state of California, then you can use that, such as a sub permit, a preschool permit, maybe a CTE credential, a designated subject credential. So if you have any of those can also be used if they're current and have been issued by CTC, can be used as clearance. If you don't have a certificate of clearance, then you do want to start that process as soon as possible. There is a three-step process where you have to get a live scan done first, then submit an application for the certificate of clearance, wait, pay a fee, and then wait to hear from the Commission on Teacher Credentialing to issue your clearance and show proof of that on your application. There will be steps provided to you by the College of Education where you can go step by step on how to apply for that certificate of clearance. You also will need to provide a negative tuberculosis test. So these tests are good for 4 years. The risk assessment questionnaires will not be accepted, and the TB test should be skin, chest x-ray, or blood work. You can go through the health center here at Cal State or through your own health center. Typically at Cal State, it costs about $10 to start unless you need a chest x-ray. So please provide those negative tests to your Cal State Apply application. I should also state that the certificate of clearance, once it's issued, is good for 5 years. GPA. So a cumulative GPA of a 2.5 is actually required. So this has been brought down from a 2.67 to a 2.5. A 2.5 in your last uh, 90 quarter or 60 semesters, or a cumulative 2.5. Now let's talk about the basic skills requirement. The basic skills requirement is now met through your bachelor's degree or higher if it comes or has been issued by an accredited university. So we will not ask for any proof of basic skills, assuming that your degree is from an accredited school as we review your transcripts. Verification of the subject matter requirement. This is the proof that you have to provide demonstrating that you're proficient in the subject that you wish to pursue your credential in. So we're going to go through the 5 options. You only have to choose one of these options to prove that you're proficient. Now, this requirement must be met before you can start student teaching and before you can accept an internship contract. Another important thing to note is track A is not an option for students who are missing their subject matter at the time that they apply to the program. So if you don't have the subject matter, then you will need to consider track B. So let's go through those 5 options. Option number 1 is a bachelor's degree or higher. So if your degree comes from the subject that you're pursuing your credential in, then your degree will automatically meet this requirement. So for example, if you're pursuing a credential in mathematics and your degree is in mathematics, then you have met the subject matter through degree. Number 2 is a CTC approved subject matter preparation program. So for example, if you're interested in teaching physical education, but your degree is in kinesiology, well, that doesn't quite match. So you'll need to have completed an approved program. Here at Cal State San Bernardino, for example, we have kinesiology, PE, APE concentration. So students who've completed this specific concentration have met the subject matter requirement through an approved CTC program. History, for those who are interested in teaching social science, would have to have the history pre-credential concentration completed to use that degree as an approved program to meet subject matter. So that's option number 2. Option number 3 is a CSIT exam. So if your degree is completely outside of a different area, you also have the option to be tested to go through the CSIT exam. If you pass this exam, then you'll show proof of proficiency. Number 4, you also have the option to have courses evaluated. So this is what we call the domain evaluation. If you scan the QR code here, you'll be directed to forms that you can use to submit to have your courses evaluated to see if you have enough courses to meet your subject matter requirement. Number 5 is a combination of coursework and exam. So for example, if you don't have enough courses to meet these areas, you either have the option to take courses that will be listed and provided to you by the faculty advisor or to take CSET. So you could potentially have a combination of coursework and CSET to meet your subject matter requirement. If you're interested in the adapted physical education added authorization, so anyone who's interested in maybe teaching special needs, physical education is special needs, then these are the steps that you would take to then add this authorization. Now, this is more specifically for kinesiology majors here at Cal State San Bernardino who completed potentially those APE courses already, which is about 5 courses. These are the steps that you should take to then apply and do your credential and single subject with the APE concurrently. If you're new to CSUSB and you're considering the APE authorization, then please consult with one of our program coordinators, as you see at the bottom here. Email them for more information, and I would encourage you to pursue the credential first and then apply for the APE when you're ready to take those additional courses. So if you're a kinesiology major at Cal State San Bernardino, have already completed the AP courses, do submit your Cal State Apply application, meet with a coordinator to get your advising form, and also fill out a change of program application, which is a COPA form, to add the APE authorization to your plan. One important thing to know is that communication is going to be key through this process. So, graduate studies in the Watson College of Education will be communicating with you by email, specifically using your Coyote email account. So, it's important when we receive that first email from grad studies, they'll provide you with your ID, an email account, information on how to activate that account. Make sure you do that and make sure that you're also checking back to see the status of your application. It's okay to use a personal email when you create the account. That's not a problem. But as soon as you submit that, that first email will then trigger that all information will at this point be sent to your Coyote email address. So overall, this is our process of admissions for the credential program. You'll submit your application on Cal State Apply. As soon as our admissions staff will review and confirm that everything has been completed, they'll send you an interview survey. You complete that survey, and if all goes well, you've been admitted. Then you're invited to attend a new student orientation. You'll pick your school districts. You'll also receive your program plan at that point. So you don't have to make a decision on which track until you have actually been admitted. As soon as your window opens for registration, you'll register for your classes, and then you'll begin your journey towards your credential. Application deadline dates are usually a semester before. So for spring of 26, the first deadline date is August 4th, and we close on October 6th for the spring of 26, which starts late January. If you're interested in starting in the fall of 26, then you would apply sometime in the spring of 26, and those deadlines should be provided to you by the College of Education. Tuition costs for students in a credential program are going to pay a little less than degree students. So if you're going to pursue a master's, it will go up slightly higher when you declare the master's degree. So for the credential, if you're taking 6.1 plus units or more, then you're roughly going to pay about $4,800 per semester. So depending on how many semesters you're taking, that'll determine the cost of the credential program. Financial aid. It's important that you submit your financial aid application. It's a free application. You can receive Golden State Teacher Grant that can potentially award you up to $20,000. You also have the Teach Grant that can award you up to $4,000. You do have to have a 3.25 GPA and be willing to teach in a low-income school for 4 years. You can use those 4 years towards the Golden State Teacher Grant as well as a Teach Grant. And this Teach Grant is specific to math, science, Spanish, and English. So once you've been admitted to the credential program, you can reach out to the College of Education and they'll provide you with a Teach Grant certification form. They'll send that over to financial aid, and financial aid will disperse the money that semester. We also have the Misty Grant, an initiative for math and science teachers. So they'll provide you more information on that in your methods math science class in the credential program. We also have a partnership with the Rialto School District, which is called the Teacher Residency Program. Alexandra Johnson is a person to contact. You can also scan that QR code for more information. You could receive a $30,000 stipend. You also will be co-teaching. It's very similar to our Track A option. So we strongly encourage you, if you're interested, please reach out to them. You do have to be admitted to the credential program and admitted to the residency program. Those are two different admissions or acceptance. So please consult with both the College of Education as well as the Rialto School District. Project Impact. So this is an initiative to increase male minorities on K-12 campuses. Dr. James Hubb is the director of Project Impact. If you're interested, please scan that QR code for more information. They offer tuition support, mentoring support. So this is a really great opportunity for you to connect with other men, get the support that you need throughout this process. And even after, you can come back and give back to your community and to other men that aspire to be teachers. So we hope that you will connect with the College of Education. If you have any questions, feel free to email. You should email coeinfo@csusb.edu or call our main number at 909-537-5609. Please scan that QR code. It'll connect you to different ways to connect with the College of Education. So thank you so much for watching this information session. Again, don't hesitate to reach out to the college if there's any questions or anything that we can help you with. Thank you so much and have a great day.